All right, let's talk about the other big Chris Pratt movie that just came out this year. All right, hi everybody, doing my catch-up series, trying to catch up on the movies I saw weeks ago, but just haven't had a chance to sit down and talk about it. Because if you watch my Super Mario video, you'll know that I just had a lot going on lately, and I've been really struggling to try to balance everything. And it's not all bad; it's just a lot, and I'm feeling a little overwhelmed right now. So this is my attempt to catch back up to things, and I'm doing so as much as I can. But in case you didn't watch the Super Mario video, I'm just going to go very briefly how we're going to do this system kind of going forward, which is the reality is I just don't have time to go watch 2 to 3 movies every week anymore. I just don't. I don't have the time. I don't have the energy. I don't think I could do it without just burning myself out. So what we're going to start doing from now is basically just try to keep up on the big releases that come out, and then all the small movies that come out that we just don't have time to watch. We're just gonna try to watch when it comes out on streaming or rental, and that way we'll try to keep it going as much as I can in a less stressful environment. It's much easier for me to watch a movie at home than it is to go to the movie theater to go watch it. That being said, catching back up to the movies now, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which is, I'm sure many of you know, has a movie that's been going up and down in development for years now, starting back up from when James Gunn was fired from production of Volume 3 because of a hate campaign on Twitter that tried to use old jokes he made that were insensitive that he apologized for, to cancel him and get him fired from the job. This ended up firing him in the biggest fucking way possible by James Gunn getting hired at DC to make the Suicide Squad, which is a phenomenal film, and Peacemaker, the TV show, and now he's running DC completely. He's directing the Superman movie, and then after all that, it kind of started to happen. They hired James Gunn back to do Volume 3, and that's where we finally end up today, which is the culmination of the original Guardians of the Galaxy team. Who knows what's next for the Guardians of the Galaxy as a franchise? They're probably not going to go away to some capacity. The end credits, as I'm sure you've probably seen by now, pretty much already confirmed that. But now this is basically James Gunn's attempt to wrap up the story he had in mind, make his own ending for these characters. And I have no idea how much the script started back, like, 2015 or I don't remember. A long time. That's not that long ago. 2019, whenever he was fired. From 2019 to now, I have no idea what kind of changes or other things gonna have. I'm having a hard time thinking today, guys. I'm sorry. Like I said, part of the reason why it's been so hard to keep up on these recently is just because I've just been super low energy. I just do not have the energy of a 20-year-old anymore, and it's hard. And I've just been trying to keep my mind right, but it's been hard. It's been really hard. But anyway, to the movie itself, I think this movie is phenomenal. I think this might be the best of the 3. I think the characterizations are damn near perfect. This is a great ending to these characters that people have, like me, who've grown up on these movies now, or not grown up, but have been following the journey over the last decade or so. It does feel like a good culmination of their stories. It does feel like these characters are going to ending at a good place, and if we never see his characters again, I think that'd be perfectly fine. This is a good stopping point, even though we probably will to some capacity. I know some characters Zoe Saldana is probably done. Dave Bautista said he's done, and I don't, oh god, who plays Nebula? I know her name and it's gonna drive me fucking crazy. Karen Gillan is probably done as Nebula. Vin Diesel will probably come back as Groot. That's too easy. It's gotta be too easy of a gig to not come back for that. And they kind of set Bradley Cooper up. Well, I can't say anything more about that without going to spoilers. So for those who haven't seen this movie for whatever reason, this movie follows largely around Rocket. It follows his origin, it's kind of his origin story, where he came from, and also loosely adopts the story in Guardians of the Galaxy. I haven't read it, so I don't know how closely it follows, where it turns out Rocket is dying because of certain reasons that I can't really go into without going into spoilers. But this sends the Guardians on a journey to try to figure out how to save him, and this puts him in conflict with the High Evolutionary, who is played to great effect by Chukwudi. I'm gonna butcher his name. It's Chukwudi Iwuji. That's probably not how you say it. but that's who plays High Evolutionary, and he is phenomenal in this. He is just... This is kind of one of those big chewing the scenery characters and instantly detestable Marvel villain characters, because his whole thing is he experiments on animals. So he's immediately detestable. Immediately, you just want to see this fucker burn. And Chuck Wheaty is having such a great time, kind of just leaning into this, not absurdism, but to the extremes of someone with this kind of big ego, and he is just going for it 110%. He's shooting for the fucking moon, and for the most part he lands it. I love this villain character. I think he's one of the best villains Marvel has done up to this point. He honestly gives Thanos a run for his money, mostly because Chuck Wheaty is just not afraid to just go all out. And I know I'm just repeating myself, but it really is so fucking good. If you've seen this, you know what I'm talking about. And his arcs and his interactions with Chris Pratt and Bradley Cooper are phenomenal. Rocket's character arc for this movie is also phenomenal. There are scenes that are legitimately pretty hard to watch for a PG-13 movie, and that's good. This is a case where they definitely push the edge of what you can get away with in a PG-13 rating, and I think it all looks phenomenal. The designs and the prosthetics all look great, and we finally got Cosmo. Cosmo is one of my favorite Guardians of the Galaxy characters. I've wanted him for years. I've been saying it every time I've seen the Guardians of the Galaxy movie or anywhere the Guardians of the Galaxy appear, is where is Cosmo? Where is my Russian cosmonaut psychic dog? And while he's always been appeared, he's never talked, and he talks in this one. It makes me so happy. And he's a ton of she's a ton of fun to watch in this, even though they could have used her more, but I'm willing to bet they probably will in future movies. This seems like a character they want to bring back, and I look forward to when they do, because we need more Russian cosmonaut dog, psychic cosmonaut dog. I think definitely one of the weaker spots of this movie, and a lot of people have pointed this out already, so I feel like I'm kind of being redundant, is I don't think what they did is bad with him. It's more just okay, I feel like they could have done more. It was Adam Warlock. No, I like the idea behind Adam Warlock. I like the actor who plays him. I forget his name. I'm going to try to quickly stall for time while I pull up the name, and is not pulling up while I'm side-scrolling. Will Poulter. Will Poulter, I really like the direction they take with that. I like the angle they take with that. I think that was smart. I think that's a good way to do what is essentially just another overpowered, godlike character in Marvel Comics who's kind of boring, and I don't really know anyone that likes Adam Warlock, or at least there's not a lot of Adam Warlock stands out there, to my knowledge. So I really like this approach to them. That being said, he's in the movie pretty sparsely, mostly just as another antagonist that shows up every now and again, and he kind of has an arc. And I'm wondering how much, if he had a bigger role in an earlier draft or not, but it did kind of feel like that's just them trying to wrap up loose ends from the last movie. That being said, I still think what they did with him was still good for what it is. Could have done more, but that being said, I'm not disappointed that he wasn't a central focus of the movie, because quite frankly, he's one of the least interesting aspects of it, which is probably why he wasn't. What is interesting, again, is just... it's weird to say that animal cruelty is one of the most interesting parts of the film, but no, just a lot of the High Evolutionary's style and charisma and the creature designs they have for the stuff the High Evolutionary created is pretty interesting to look at, and really pulls you into this yeah, this is a very emotional story, and there is a little bit... No, I won't even say that. I was going to say there's a bit of tonal whiplash between the comedy and the drama, but I don't think there is, actually. I think it meshes together pretty well. This feels like James Gunn at the peak of his form. He knows exactly what he's doing. At this point, he's had plenty of practice balancing drama and comedy, especially the Suicide Squad. This Peacemaker in particular comes to mind, because Peacemaker is definitely a case where there's a lot of tonal whiplash in that show. But when those heavy moments hit, they hit hard, and this is a case where that's done very well. I like the way Nebula's conclusion ends. I like the way that Mantis in particular has some great moments that really kind of push her abilities for empathy and kindness and compassion that I really, really, really liked. I liked how they included Drax's storyline and really this interpretation of that character, because he is very different from the comics, but that's okay, because what they're doing with him here is still very interesting, and the conclusion they lead to with him completely fits with the character they've built over the last decade, pretty much. All that's to say, I think Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is a phenomenal conclusion to the trilogy. I was really happy with how things turned out. And I, like, again, if we never got another Guardians of the Galaxy movie again, I think this is the great conclusion to it. And I'm really glad James Gunn got to finish the trilogy as he saw it, and was given the creative freedom to make it as he wanted to. I think very, very strongly that with James Gunn, with this demonstration from James Gunn, I think Superman in particular is in great hands. I think he can do it. I really, really do. If he's willing to make you feel things for a talking raccoon and a tree, like a tree dude who says 3 words, I think he can handle Superman well, and I'm really excited to see what that turns into. Because yeah, that's a character that has become more important to me over the years. If you watch my editorials, you know that I've definitely talked a lot about the Big Blue Boy Scout, and I'm eager to see his interpretation of it, and I'm really excited to see where he does with it, because I think it's going to be really good. So, yeah, we're going to keep these short and sweet. Thank you guys for watching, and we're going to try to catch up next with Fast X, which I'm going to talk to my Muha about that, and then me and Sarah are going to catch up on The Little Mermaid, which I'm seeing tonight. So that review will be up shortly. In the meantime, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all later.